of the Division 2. You shut up, Brad. So let's go on to the next thing. Tim Sweeney, Epic. Oh boy. Mr. Tim Sweeney is the founder and the head of Epic Games, most known for Gears of War is what I knew Epic Games for, but Fortnite. And here is what he had to say. This wasn't this morning. I thought it was. That's when I saw it. It was last night. So Epic is wholeheartedly supporting NVIDIA GeForce Now service with Fortnite and with the Epic Games Store titles that choose to participate, including exclusives, and will be improving the integration over time. It is the most developer-friendly and publisher-friendly of the major streaming services with zero tax on game revenue. And I'm going to do a pause break there. I don't necessarily agree with that because either way, you're going to have to buy these games anyway, correct? So it's either Steam or Uplay, or Uplay's not taking a cut from themselves, but so like Steam obviously takes a cut from people that put their games on the store. Epic does the same thing. So there is a tax on game revenue, just not on the GeForce side. So I mean, I don't know if disingenuous is the right word. It's just factually misleading, I guess, is the way he puts that, because there is a tax. It just doesn't happen at that point. So I mean, GeForce Now isn't making making like devs and pubs pay an additional fee to be on their platform, because right now it needs to be the other way around, according to some of these companies. Yes, Half-Truth Resurrector is actually a very good way of putting it, because it's just getting done. It's just not at that point. It's already been done. Game companies who want to move the game industry towards a healthier state for everyone should be supporting this kind of service. I mean, the full disclosure here is that we're going to be using GFN to play the Division 2, mainly because my computer is dog crap. And I want to show it the best fidelity right now. So, but the fact is, I can see that if GFN was truly unlocked, and what I mean by that is there's no queues. Obviously there needs to be some kind of payment towards it, because GFN is just going to run for free. If there was like no queues, and literally every single PC game you can possibly own was available, then yes, I agree. It is an awesome way to play a game. And obviously I'm in on the cloud gaming aspect because, welcome to Club Stadia. That's not necessarily untrue. So, I mean, I get that. But it's weird that, Tim, who is, the founder of Epic and is obviously a part of a huge game company, has this idea that game companies don't want to have more money from their games being played. And well, we'll get to that. Cloud streaming services will also be key players in ending the iOS and Google Play payment monopolies and their 30% taxes. Apple has decreed that these services aren't allowed to exist on iOS and therefore aren't allowed to compete, which is megalomaniacal. I've been able to say that word before, but I had to stop for a second. I'm just gonna let you read that. It won't stand. Just waiting till later this year when Google is lobbying against Apple for blocking Stadia from iOS, while Google blocks GeForce Now, xCloud, and Fortnite from Google Play, and this whole rotten structure begins collapsing in on itself. I mean, there is some assumptions here. For instance, Fortnite's available on iOS, so I mean, he's assuming at this point that Google is going to have an issue with iOS, and I could see where he might assume that, because the Shadow news dropped not too long ago that Shadows had to pull their app from the Apple App Store because of certain policies that Apple employs, and that's not necessarily news either, because everyone knows about that at this point. But he's assuming that Google is not really working with Apple in this instance, and of course that's probably why we don't have the ability to play Stadia games on Apple devices right now, because like I can't do anything on this right now. I can buy games, I can load it on my computer, I can do stuff like that, but I can't play the games on there, which would be awesome. But here's more half-truths. I mean, this is actually not even half-truth. This is just blatantly wrong. He says, while Google blocks GeForce Now, xCloud, let's stop right there. xCloud launched exclusively on Android devices when it started this beta testing. It only recently became available on Apple devices. That is through a preview testing program. So I don't know what that is all about. I don't know. That makes no sense. GeForce Now, I'm pretty sure you can use on your phones on Android. As far as I know, they don't. And I know on my Chromebook I can't play it, because I did try it the other day. I was like, oh, it's not available here. But tablets, when it comes to Google, it does not always optimize for it. So it's not just the GeForce Now thing. It's a lot of different apps too. And Fortnite. So that part's true, because Fortnite is only available through the Samsung store when it comes to Android devices, as far as I'm aware. At least it used to be when I had a Galaxy device. It is not in Google Play Store. But the irony here is because Tim does not want to give up revenue to Google. And I get it. It's your game. You don't want to give up a lot of money for something you worked on. And while 30% is that's absurdly high, I think. I'm not sure what the profit margin is when it comes to like a brick and mortar store, for instance. So like if Walmart sells Call of Duty, how much of that do they get, or how much do they charge Activision for bringing it to them? I don't know. Maybe that information is out there. Chase says this has polarized the community, which I completely understand. And let's see. 0 games for me. Most people who own PC games already have a PC that can run the games natively. I don't. When people come into my comment section, or I see people on Twitter just saying bad things about Stadia, and I'm gonna take a drink here because cheers. I want to have professional debates, because I like seeing things from things I've not thought about, different angles, because the fact is I can't think of literally everything, and I know some people have different ideas. I have different ideas, so I may come at you with something like, I didn't even think about it that way. And I got Chase to say that the other day, and I was like, oh man, I finally got one on him. But the fact is, it's good having that discourse, as Chase has just said, that it's good having that debate, so you can kind of see things from both sides. Moving down, Treasure Rector thinks that Google is Sweeney's new threat, and it could be. It very well could be. Joel Thompson, Epic benefits directly from people continuing to purchase traditional games and not cloud specific. Not shocking to see the response. Darth Tux, I think the do-it-yourself PC folk don't realize they are a minority. Most people buy pre-built and know very little about the parts, nor do they care about anything but cost. And yeah, I mean, cost is a thing. Why does something like GFN appeal to people? Why does something like Stadia appeal to people? It's because people like me, people like a majority of people, as you just mentioned, don't have the funds, the knowledge, or the time to build a PC. And look at this, for instance. So I'll just talk about this next part just overlaid into the game, because at this point, let's pull this up. There we go. Perfect. This is the Division 2, and as I've said, full disclosure, this is on GFN. And here's what's awesome. I'm gonna pull up the settings here. I could never do this on my actual PC. Ultra settings, and you're not gonna see a damn problem. Stadia's gonna be doing the same thing. Stadia does do the same thing when it comes to how it plays, and that is what people like me are interested in. We want to play the games at the best possible settings and not have to worry about what our front end can do, because my front end sucks. And I know many other people's front end sucks. And that's the thing. We're here to play games the way it was meant to be played. You think a developer wants a game to be played at its low settings? Now, I could turn this on. You could watch it's not gonna be choppy. It's still gonna be fine. But the thing is, do you want to watch a game at the lowest graphic fidelity, or you want to watch a game at the highest graphic fidelity? Like, you want to watch a game, you want to play a game, and the developer wants you to play this game because they want to see it at the best way that they can see it. And that's what this does. This is what streaming does. This is what cloud gaming can do. And that's why I'm always a supporter of multiple platforms, because multiple platforms, as I already mentioned about the whole debating thing, brings so many different sides. Like, I own a Switch, Xbox, and PS4 because they all bring something different. Xbox allows me to pretty much play every single game I've ever owned on an Xbox ecosystem. Plus, there's some backwards compatibility with some DLC I own, which is awesome. PlayStation has some amazing exclusives. The Switch has the awesome ability to play not only the first-party titles, but a way to play their games portably, and games you didn't think you could ever play portably, like The Witcher 3. So, I mean, every platform has an awesome benefit to it, and there's no reason why you have to solidify yourself to just one platform. All right, but I was going to just kind of bring up this article, but I guess it's not really an article, it's just a forum post. 2K, since we're playing on GeForce Now right now, has left the platform of GFN, and well, Not really surprised. It's just more developers keep pulling their stuff, or pubs, I guess would be more accurate, from the service. And it's going to be that debate again of, do these companies deserve a cut of something like a GeForce Now? And the comparison I've made is Netflix isn't going to be able just to show Disney movies freewillingly. And of course, they're losing those movies because Disney is pulling them so they can put it on their own platform. Makes sense, because it's Disney stuff. They own it. They created it. They want to be able to benefit financially from it. Makes sense. The thing is, when it comes to Netflix, you aren't paying for those movies and then using a service to stream said movies. The argument here is, should they be able to stream games that are already owned and do so on this service? And when this was in beta, it wasn't a problem for devs and pubs because there wasn't money involved. Money did not change hands. You didn't have to worry about missing that dollar. Now, from a business side of things, I understand completely. I mean, you don't want your games pretty much being an advertisement for a service that you aren't getting any actual benefit from. And the argument against that is you are, because look at someone like me. Something like the Division 2 at its best settings won't run on my computer, but on GFN it would. And right now it is. There's a benefit to that. What is that benefit? Ubisoft earned a sale because I bought it so I could play it on there. So there is that benefit to it. They're still getting money. And in fact, something like Ubisoft making that available, Ubisoft's getting all the money. They're not losing any kind of cut because they have their own front-end service for it. So, I mean, it's a great debate. And I'll be honest, I'm not entirely sure what side I land on just yet, because from a business aspect, I absolutely agree with like a 2K or an Activision. I don't want my stuff being just used to prop up another service that I'm not getting any benefit from. But at the same time, if that means more people are going to buy my projects on PC because they are now able to play it, then there's an absolutely solid argument to that.